Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing another snack knit kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I am doing the last kit that I have in my possession that I got from Five Below online. If there are any more other kits that you want me to show out there, please let me know. I'll go to a Five Below and check online again. But if you want to be sure that I'll be able to do it, you can also email me the instructions and I will try my best to help you. Okay, so today we're doing the Boba Buddy, and I think I know someone who would really like one of these. So I'm gonna go and make this. So this is different from what we've done so far with the knitting kits. This is a cylindrical shaped plushie. So I'm kind of excited to see how they have you make it. So in these kits, this time we have some pipe cleaners, we have some stuffing, plastic needle, knitting needles, yarn, and then we have our felt stickers that you just stick on there. You can also sew with some embroidery floss. You just have to go get that. But yeah, let's open this up. Comment below, let me know if you guys have done any of these, which ones you have done. I think that this would be really a fun kit. For beginners, I'm not too sure because you really should have like a video or an instructor or a really good book. I learned from a really good book to teach me the basics, how to hold the needle, how to cast on stitches and stuff. But yeah, so here's the box. This is called Boba Buddy. I love their names. They're so cute. This actually comes from the company Bright Stripes. You can go on their website actually at brightstripes.co. I did actually hop on there, and they do have a bunch of other crafts and knitting kits that you can do. It's so funny. This actually, they're located in New Jersey where I am at. So that's very interesting. That's really cool. Alright. Here are the instructions. Now, just to let you know, this video here, you guys, is a supplement to the instructions. I highly suggest that if you'd like to do this for yourself, go and get the kit. If you already have the kit, we can just move on. But yeah, so here are the yarn, spools of yarn, balls of yarn. Very nice. I love the colors. It's giving me mermaid vibes. But anyway, you get this little pouch, and inside you'll have your knitting needles. There's no sizes on here. I have a bunch of needles. I could size this for you if you tend to have them missing. But actually, every kit that I've had so far has everything that it said it would have. And it actually has enough material, for the most part, for you to do what you need to do. So that was nice. Here's the stuffing. If you want more stuffing, I would recommend going online or a hobby store and getting more stuffing, because you might want to make these again. So, and plus when I get requests, I don't get those materials, obviously, so I have to have extra stuffing and yarn on hand. Anyway, here's the sheet of felt, eyes, mouth, and spots, or boba, I guess. So that's cute. And then we have our little tapestry needle. Okay, plastic needle. The two pipe cleaners. I don't know if I called them out. Alright, so let's do this thing. I'm going to show you guys how to cast on, how to do all the stitches at least 3 times, step by step, very slow, so that you can get the hand of it. I am going to be using my right hand. I am actually, what's the word? I don't want to say naturally. I actually was taught with my right hand as a kid, but then my funny cousin ended up teaching me how to right with my left. So I am, I'm predominantly lefty. But I'm going to be doing this video in a righty. Alright, so let's get this started. If you look through your instructions, you have your index, you have illustrations on how to do every possible instruction that they want you to do with explanations, which I think is really cool. It's so different from crochet, by the way, because I also do crochet. The illustrations are very intimidating to me. I don't know about you, but they're very good. So you don't even get these in some of those Dollar Tree crochet kits. So this is good. Let's head over to the instructions. So to make our boba buddy, we have to knit 3 rectangles of the purple, white, and green. And it looks like there's two swatches of rectangles. So collectively, it looks like you're making 6 altogether. Oh no, let me reiterate what I'm saying because I'm losing my mind. There are 3 rectangles, but in the first rectangle, I should change the word, there's 3 colors on here. Obviously, the white, green, and purple. And there's 2, it's like a striped and it goes kind of like in sequential order. So, we have that rectangle, that's 1. The second rectangle is green. The third rectangle is white. So we'll be doing that. It's very convenient. These instructions provide for you the ruler. So we're definitely going to be using that. Alright. Okay, so these rectangles now, for the first one, it's going to be 3 1/4 inch long and 22 stitches wide. And you can start with the green, you can start with the purple. I'm going to start with the purple. So the instructions kind of allude for you to start with the purple. So I'm just going to unravel this. This is different from the other kits, the way they made their spools. So this is going to be messier, just to let you guys know. But yeah, so you can unroll these and put them in balls, or if you have a spool machine. I mean, I think we're all just basic beginners here. So I just deal with it, which is probably a bad idea, but we'll see. And then I know others will roll it into a ball and make their lives easier. But anyway, alright. So it says to do a 20-inch tail. So we're going to take that ruler that they've conveniently left us here, and we're going to measure off 28 inches, 5, 10, 15, and then where's 3? 15. Oh wait, 28. Sorry. Go back here. 15, 20, 25, and then 30. Alright, so we got 30. Now, I am pinching this at the 20. Did I say 30? Oh my gosh, 28. Anyway, I'm pinching this at the 28th inch spot tail. I'm just going to move around my thumb to this other side, okay, because I need this right here. So you have your tail end here, and you have your feeder end here. You want to keep them separated. You want to take your middle and ring finger, and we're just going to hold the yarn apart like this. We're going to stay firm and strong on this pinch right here, because we're going to leave this middle finger and ring finger a little bit loose so that we can pull from it. So now I'm going to take my 2 fingers right here. We're going to come up from the yarn, and we're going to rotate your fingers down to make this loop, and then with your index and middle finger, we're just going to kind of pinch. We're going to grab the yarn right here and we're gonna pull it through the loop like that, right? So now that we're here, this knot, this huge knot, you obviously want to make smaller and into a firm knot. So how you do that, I'm going to try to make this knot kind of be butt up right next to your thumb. So keep pushing this knot to where the knot is getting closer and closer to your thumb. Keep pushing it down until the knot is too tight to push down anymore. So now we have this whole loop here. What I'm gonna do is slip my knitting needle right through it, and then I'm gonna try to pull. You can let go of this side. You can grip the knot. Make sure that you don't pull the tail. You pull the feeder yarn. We're gonna pull this so that the loop gets tightened around the needle and you still have your 28-inch tail and you have your feeder yarn right here. Okay, so that's how you could cast on. There's many ways to do it, but that's how you cast on. Now you guys, I'm going to show you how to do the 22 stitches. Now this booklet, and I think every kit, works with just the knit stitch, which is wonderful because I love the knit stitch. It's the easiest stitch you can possibly do. Now there's two ways to get knit stitches on your needle in the very beginning. See how we only have one? We have to have 22 altogether, so we have to throw on 21 more. What I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to show you a way to do it with just your hands without the second needle, but I actually prefer to use with the needle. So once I put on a few stitches by hand, I'm going to take it out and then I'm going to redo it and show you how to do it with needles, and then it's up to you to pick what your preference is. And by the way, if you'd like to speed up and slow down this video, you can do that with the gear button in the corner. If you click on the gear button, there's a playback option and you can go fast and slow in case you need it. Also, if you don't need to hear me, sometimes my voice gets a little crackly, you can lower the volume on your device, and then there's a closed captioned or CC button that you can click on, and it's auto, so it should tell you what I'm saying. Alright, let's get into this. So I'm going to gather up some yarn around my finger. Sometimes I go a little nuts about it. If you've not seen my other videos, that's me. There's other ways to have your feeder yarn, but I prefer this. I've been doing this for, you know, had to have been at least 30 years. Definitely more. Just maybe a few more, but this is how I've always done it. I don't think it's ever going to change. Alright, so. Oh wait, I forgot. I'm doing the finger method first. Alright, already screwing it up. So let me show you how to do that. You don't need the feeder yarn wrapped around your finger a million times for this. What you need to do actually is you need your 2 fingers like this and your thumb. What we're going to do is put your 2 fingers under the feeder yarn, okay? So you have this piece just dangling here. You can actually tuck away the tail end so you don't mistakenly use it, but then take the feeder yarn. What we're going to do is you're just going to twist it. So you see what I did there? Just twist it. It makes a loop and throw it up around the hook. Around the needle. And then you pull it, and then you've got 2 now. Okay, let's do that again. Hold the feeder yarn like this. Put your thumb here. Twist it. Make a loop. Throw it up on your needle. And then pull on the end. And now you have 3. This is probably the easiest and fastest way to do it. Especially, I think, if you're a beginner. But, like I said, I like to do it with my knitting needles, so that I don't know, it's just, that's how I've always done it. But see that? one more time. Let me do it. So your fingers like this, twist, throw it up onto the needle, and pull. Alright, so if you're having something that looks like this, you're pretty golden. Now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm just going to remove these, and I'm just going to do it with my needle. So for those that like to just use the needle, we're going to do that now. Alright. So, what we're going to do, we're not going to do that. Alright. What we're going to do, you're going to slip your second needle into the loop like this. Alright, you see that? So, you should be able to have a stitch or a loop, whatever you want to call it, and you want to be able to fit comfortably 2 needles. If you're having a struggle putting the second one in, your loop is too tight, which means you just have to lessen the tension on your feeder finger, lessen the tension on your hands. This should be like a relaxed hobby. In the beginning it wasn't for me, and I made all my stitches tight, and my muscles in my hands would hurt over time. But anyway, now in your knitting position, you always want to have this X, and you want the right needle to be behind the left needle for knit stitches. Purl stitches are completely different, so if there's ever a kit or anything that requires it, I could show you how to do that. But for this video, we're doing knit all the way. So what you do from here is, again, you can grab this tail off to the side so you don't accidentally grab it. So you want to have this X, and you always want the needles to touch. See how it's always touching? Okay, so then we're going to take our feeder yarn, and it's always back to front for knit stitches. Again, different world if it's something else, but you always want to do back to front. And then we're going to slide this down. It might click because we are clenching these 2 needles together, but now it's in this little trap of the 2 needles, and that's why we always keep it clenched, keep it touching like that. Now the goal is to pull this piece of yarn through this loop, and how you do that is we're going to use the left needle, we're going to slide it up the right needle, go down that taper and over, making sure it's always touching so we don't lose that yarn. And we're going to go back down to the other side. So now we actually pulled it through. And since we are here and we're adding stitches to the needle, then we're going to transfer this loop onto this needle here. So what you're going to do is put your needle in that loop like that, and then just slide the right one out of it. So now we just made 2 loops. Alright, so to do another one, now we're going to go into this second loop. Put your right needle through the second loop, right, like we have here, and then again we're going to go back to the cross position right here. Hold the tail back so it doesn't get in your way. Then we're always going to go back to front for a knit stitch, and then we're going to slide this down. You might hear a click or feel a click because we are always keeping the needles in contact. So you're going to have something like this. We're going to pull this loop over this strand by sliding the left needle down the right, down the taper, over the taper, maintaining contact always, just in case, so that you don't lose that yarn here. Okay, over and back down, and now we have our new loop that we've created, and we're going to put this loop and transfer it over to the left needle. So take the loop, slip it over the left needle, and then remove your right needle. So now we have 3. So let me do this one more time with you guys. again, slip your needle into the new loop that's on here. All right, then we're going to get into our X position. Always right needle behind, left needle on front for knitting, doing the knitting stitch. Then take your feeder needle, feeder yarn, and then go from back to forward and down. You're going to feel a click from keeping contact with your needle. Then we're going to slide this loop over the feeder yarn by going down the right needle, down the taper, over the point, and back down. And then now we have that new loop we're going to transfer onto our left needle. So take your left needle, put it through that loop, and then remove the right needle. So now we have 4. Alright, you guys, for this one row only, I'm going to go slow and I'm going to try to change angles so you can see how I'm doing it. And we need 22. So I have 4 here now. We need 18, but I'll probably stop counting at some point as I get distracted easily. Six, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh, lost it, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And let me just check that I do have 20 so far. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, I have to do 2 more. Okay. So now I have 22. So it just basically says knit about 14 rows making stripes with all 3 colors. You will have a rectangle that is 325 inches by 5 inches and then cast off. So I mean, we could go random, we can go even Steven. I mean, it's all your preference, I guess. And then they have it alternating. So I don't know, let's just do it random and then we'll just keep measuring. You can do it specific, I guess, if there's 14 rows. Now it says 14 rows, but if you measure 3.5 inches tall already, you can stop. Okay, because everybody's stitches are different. So your stitches might be larger, which means you'll make it to 3.25 inches high quicker than someone who makes tight stitches. So sometimes counting rows is okay, but for this case, I would lean more towards making sure the sizes are right, because we have to sew this at the end of the day, and we want to make sure that the sizes are right. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with another purple. So I'm gonna do purple in silence until I switch to white, and then we can kind of I'll come back in and I'll show you guys how to do that. So wait, let me just, alright, I'm gonna get a larger wad of yarn on around my finger, so I don't like having to keep on grabbing yarn. So, and again, there's other ways where you don't have to, but this is my comfort zone. So all right, in silence. Oh, and while I'm doing this, actually, before I go into silence, the rows are made up of kind of two back and forths. So we just went down one, and then we're gonna I'll have to, okay, no, I'm not gonna go in silence. I'm gonna show you how to go back. But there's two, it's funny because they call them rows, but they're made up of 2 rows. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean, because I know I sound crazy right now. All right, because the booklet does have an asterisk saying tip, you know, knit even number rows, like 2, 4, or 6 to make your colored stripes. Okay, so we made one pass. Now let me show you how to continue your next row. Stick your needle into the last loop that you made. If it's not already there, I just took it out and now I'm putting it back in like some mad woman. Then we're gonna go again back to front like this. Then we're going to slide down the right needle, down the taper, over the taper, and back down to make this loop. Now this time, since we already have 22 stitches required, we're going to remove this loop off the left needle by just slipping the left needle off. So when your needles, when you're holding it like this in your position, like, you know, how I showed you, the stitches on this side mean you still have to work them. The stitches on this side mean you've already worked them. So we did that one, so it's on the right needle. Now the goal is to get all the stitches off the left needle onto the right needle, and then we turn, but I'll show you that after the fact. Let's go again and do another stitch on the left and move it to the right. So stick your needle into the next stitch up top. We're going to go back to forward. Hear that or feel that snap. Then you're going to move your left needle down the right, down the taper, over the point, and back down. And now we have our second new stitch here, and we're going to remove the left needle from this loop. So do that now. Alright, so now you should have 20 loops on the left, 2 loops on the right. Let's do this again with you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch on top. We're going to go back to forward, snap down. We're going to slide the left needle over the right, over the point, back down, and we're going to remove this loop off the left needle. Just slide it off. And now we have 3, and here should be 19. Alright, so just keep doing this until you get to the very last one. You do that one too, and we have completed the row. Alright, we're actually going to do 2 more rows together because I want to show you what they're talking about with make an even number of rows. All right. Okay, so we transferred, or we knit all the stitches from the left needle to the right needle. So when you have done that, there's no more stitches that you can stitch. What we're going to do is you're going to flip the right needle over to the left, okay, and then we're going to hold the left needle on the right hand now. So now we're in a position where we have new stitches, 22 of them. And you're going to stick your bare right needle, which used to be the left needle, through the top stitch. And then you're going to go again, back and around. Feel that snap, then slide it over, remove the loop off the left needle, and we're in the same position as the last row, and you just keep doing that. Okay, until you complete all the stitches again. Okay, we're just going to keep doing this. Okay. And then once we're here, removed all the stitches off the left, we're going to flip the right over to the left, and we're going to move the left to the right. Alright, I'm just going to do this. I'm trying to have some rows show so I can show you what I was talking about earlier. We'll see, hold on a sec. Okay, and then once you get the hang of this, you guys, this is why I like knitting. Over time, you'll perfect your technique to where you don't have to look at it all the time. So if you're doing the basic knit stitch and that's the same stitch you're doing throughout the project, you can go and watch TV and be productive. That's I can never just sit still and not do something. If I'm watching TV, I have to be doing something. So it's just, you know, my weird quirk, but knitting would be perfect for that, because then you can still pay attention to what you're watching while you're doing this. Alright. Now, what I was trying to say, okay, you can kind of see it already here. The edges are always going to look funky. But in two passes that we did, we have this like zigzaggy stitch thing. And this is what happens when you have even numbers. Okay? So you want to achieve that, and that's one row. So they say make them even. I'm gonna go here now, and I'm gonna switch to the white, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay, so like we did before, we just have to unravel the white. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, hold on a sec. All right, let's take our white yarn. We're going to do the same thing that we did with the purple casting onto the needle. So pinch the end here. We don't need 28 inches. You want the shortest amount possible. We're going to take our middle end ring and hold it apart. Again, this is going to be nice and tight. This is going to be a bit loose. Take your 2 fingers here. We're going to lift up, and then we're going to flip over. All right, making this loop. You're going to take your middle and index and just grab that white yarn there and pull it through that loop. So now we have this kind of knot situation here. You want to push the knot towards your thumb. Okay. And you want to keep pushing it until the knot is too tight to move anymore. And if you have a little bit, that's fine. You could always just trim it or something. But so we have this large loop. You're going to take your needle, your free needle, put it through the loop, hold the knot, and we're going to pull the feeder yarn. We're going to leave a space here. So now we're going to switch to white. You want to slip your needle through the first stitch here. Then we're going to slip the white over the right needle. Okay, you can even, like you were feeding it, like you normally would. So in this case now, you can take this purple and hold it with the remaining fingers so that it's out of your way. So now we're going to pull this loop over the white by going down the needle on the right, down the taper, over the point, and back down. And now we have our white. We're going to slip off our purple here. Okay. And then this we're going to either end up cutting and tying, or tying and cutting. But yeah, so we're going to go into the next loop. Alright, like this. Again, back to forward, snap down, pull that over the new stitch, and we're just going to keep on going. Okay, just keep on going till you get through the whole thing. It's pretty much the same thing that we did with the purple. And you know, because this is pretty much supposed to be the juice mixture of the boba, I'm actually feeling like rather than cutting it and making a million knots in this thing, I'm thinking about maybe just creeping it up the rows as we do them so that we have the colors available to go. But we'll see how that works. I've kind of not done that before. I'm just gathering up some white yarn here. Alright, I'm gonna put that around my finger. Okay, and what I mean by this, I'm going to put the purple that was fed into here to hop it up to the next row. You will have purple on the side there, but you can ask yourself if it really bothers you that it's there. It's all preference. If you don't like that you're going to see purple going up the white, you can always cut and tie it around one of the stitches, but I'm just going to creep it up. So we have the purple here, and then I'm going to wrap around with the white like we normally would, and then I'm just going to put the loop over both the purple and white. When we come back around here, we're going to slip it off anyway, so it's just going to be a moment of purple, just so we can keep the purple up, so we don't have to keep cutting like I said. Okay. And then when you do that with your green, it's going to happen the same with the green. So this video actually might be longer than the other two videos, if you had not seen them yet, because we have 3 separate rectangles and they're all different, and this one is going to be a little bit lengthy just because we are alternating colors. So in this one squares there's 3, so I'm not sure if I'll make this into, I'll probably make this into a 2-part video, making the squares and then sewing it together. Okay, and once I show you how to put all 3 colors on, then I'll go in silence, because it looks like on the illustration you're repeating what you're doing twice. So there should be 2 stripes of purple, 2 stripes of white, 2 stripes of green. Alright. Just do one more. Actually, I'm debating, should I do one more? Yeah, let's do one more. Okay. As you do this, you're going to realize that this project is getting wider. Alright, so I'm going to go in now. Now we're going to juggle 2 colors, but we are going to be casting on for green. So let's get this started. Okay. All right. Let me show you this one more time, you guys. So we're going to pinch the end piece here and use our middle and ring finger to hold apart the yarn. This pinch is stiff. This is a little bit loose. Take your 2 fingers. We're going to go up on the yarn and we're going to flip it over to make this loop. Then you're going to grab the yarn with your index and ring and pull it through that loop, creating this very loose knot. We're going to push the knot towards the thumb, making it small and snug. Right? Then I'm going to slip my free needle through the loop. We're going to hold that knot and you're going to pull. And you want to leave a little bit of a gap. And then we can move on to the next round. Alright, so stick your needle through the last loop that we made. Alright, then we're going to, like I said, we took the purple. Now we're going to take the purple and the white and slip it down. Okay, like this. And we're also going to take the green and slip that through the loop. Then we're going to take that loop and pull it over, down the right, down the taper, over the point, and back down. So now you can see, like I said, you're going to see the green, the purple, but we're going to let this go after this, so it'll be okay. We're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to go back and front, snap down, and pull that loop over that one. You're going to keep going down. Alright, then we're going to flip your project to the left side. I'm going to gather up my more yarn here. Alright, then I'm going to stick my needle through that first stitch and we're going to go back down the row. Okay. So this is pretty much the same things that we've been doing. Alright, when we get to that loop that has the purple and white, don't freak out. I'm going to show you what we're doing. Because we only need 22 stitches, and we have these 2 extra loops. We're actually going to knit all 3 all at once. So, stick your needle through the white, through the purple, through the green. Like this. Then you're going to yarn over, snap down, and you're going to pull all 3 loops over the right needle, down the taper, over the point, and back down, and then release them. Flip the project back over. So, like I said, you are going to see a little bit of colors here, so if you don't like that, I would recommend cutting it and tying it. I'm just going to keep moving. So, now we're working with just green. Okay. And you can either, that was the second way of slipping those colors, creeping those colors up the rows. Last time I did it on the front, the other side. You can do either way, just as long as you trail it up the rows, so that when you do need the next color, it's right there. You don't want to drag yarn from all the way, make pretend there's the tail here, like from all the way down here, and then, oh, I need purple again, and then you pull it up to this row, and then there's some slack. Like that is what you don't want to do. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of these. I guess this is not the rectangle to go silent on. I was wanting to go silent for a while there now. Okay, that other way, like I said, was on this side. Again, you slip your yarn. Like that. We're going to continue doing this as normal. Alright, now we're here. And it's the same thing. On this side, we're going to slip off all 3 loops. So we gather up some yarn. Alright, I think after this one I want to show you how to switch back to purple, since we're alternating the colors. see. I want to check out how high we are right now. I'm going to use the ruler. We're about halfway there. So let's go back down with the green here. I'm going to gather up some yarn. Flip. Now I'm going to want to go back to purple. So I'm going to grab the purple and make it separate from this, and it is messy, but luckily the yarn spools are small, so you can just detangle that. Okay. I'm going to collect some yarn around my finger. Alright, and then you can pull the greens, the whites, if it's all loose. Alright, so we have our cross here. I'm just going to slip the white and the green into here. It's pretty much putting all three, but I like to focus on the purple. Alright, so we're going to go back and frontwards, pull that through this loop. Right, so now we have all the three colors. We're going to get rid of that, don't worry. But you're going to want to just go down the line like we've been doing. And again, I love these colors together. I wonder what the thought process was behind that. For me, it would be like, mermaid, let's just pick these three. Okay. Then we're going to do the next row. Make sure that you have it neat and that you don't accidentally split your yarn. Okay. Alright. Actually, I can go silent after this. I've shown you all three colors and how to last one, you want to go through all three like this. Pull that over, tighten it up so you can kind of see it, right? These little fringes you can weave in or cut it off. But what I'm going to do, you guys, I am going to do enough to make the purple. I'm going to show you how I cut it off and tie it off, because we won't be needing purple again. And then I'll go continue this in silence. But yeah. And I don't know if I just missed it in the instructions, but I don't think there's a protocol for changing colors, which I think is very unfortunate, because as a beginner, like, you're gonna sit there and be like, well, what am I supposed to do next? And I kind of asked that, well, how do they do it? I mean, I've switched colors in the past, making scarves, but this is kind of how I did it. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. So, it would definitely be nice if they did have instructions on changing colors. Okay. Now we're gonna go in here with the needle, and we're going to do this. And in case you're wondering, creeping the colors up, I don't do it every row because I think it would be really bulky. So I might do it every other. So in case you were wondering. Oh, in the instructions, it looks like it went purple. Oh, well, that's no fun. Yeah, it went purple, white, green, white, purple, green. I'm already here. Like, I'm already here. That's not happening. So, if you wanted to, I could show you how to undo it, but that's just a lot of work because I already did more than one row. So, but you can always do any color, really. Okay, after this row, I'm going to check the size. Once you know you're getting close to 3 1/4 inch high, you always want to keep checking each row because you don't want to make it too big. Okay, and then for this last one, I'm going to creep it up. Alright, let's see. Why don't we switch this? Let me check the height first. Alright, yeah, let's just switch. So now I'm going to do white. I'm going to remove this off my finger. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this and weave it. Well, I'm going to cut it, tie it, and then weave it. So, I guess you need about 1 inch or so. Okay, then we can get this purple out of the way. I'm going to tie it around, I don't know, the white. Okay, 2 loose knots. Alright. So stick your needle in all 3 loops right now. There's still 3 loops that we have to get rid of here. Grab your white. I'm going to detangle it from everything because it's wrapped up in the green and all that. And in fact, I'm also going to grab some white around my finger. That way I have to keep feeding myself with white. Alright. So now what we're going to do, because we're in transition of purple to white, we're going to weave in this little end. And how we do that is, even though we're going to get rid of these 3 loops, what you want to do is go back to forward with the white and the purple and pull that through all 3 loops. And we're going to keep using the purple until there's no more. And I think that tail was so short, I don't think we have any more left to pull. Yeah, so maybe a little bit. Nope, that's it. Alright, so then we can continue with our white. So on that first stitch we did, you'll still have some purple and white loop. When we get to the other side, we're going to stitch them together. So that's how you can hide a long tail. I think I won't be going silent at all, actually. So I'm looking at the next 2 rectangles we have to make. Man, I really hope we have green left. They should really tell you how many times you should go back and forth with each color, because I hope that I have enough green to do a 10-inch square by 2 1/4 inch height. Alright, so we're nearing that last stitch here, and that's going to have the white and the purple that we're trying to hide. So you stick your hook, your needle into those 2 loops, and we're just going to knit them. Alright. I'm thinking maybe I'll stretch my white for this section here, because then to get to 3 1/4 inch height, maybe I'll do a little sliver of green, because I want to be able to preserve the green. Oh, and I forgot to creep it up the row. I'll do it the next row. We're all going to sew this together anyway, so some of this will be able to hide, but yeah, I'm just going to make this white thick so we can have a sliver of green, and hopefully the leftover will be enough to make a 10 stitch by 2 1/4 inch rectangle. Okay, so this is very tedious. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Hopefully it's not more than 2 hours. Alright. Okay, last stitch on here. Going to creep up the green. Okay. This tail. Detangle the tail here. Alright, we're gonna knit these two together. Tighten this up a little bit. And I'm gonna check our height on this to see how much more we have to go with to get to 3 1/4. Okay, let me just check the height real quick. Okay, we are practically there, and then we're gonna do maybe one back and forth with green. It is gonna be a small sliver, but again, I'm just concerned that I'm not gonna have enough green to do the next rectangle. Okay, since we are switching to green, I'm not going to do the creep up here. What I'm going to do now, we're flipping this over. Alright. I'm going to cut my inch or so of the white. Okay, then I'm going to tie that 2 knots around the loosely around the green. 1, 2. Right, so now we're just working with green. Oh my gosh, look how much green I have left. I don't think I'm gonna have enough to make 10. If that's the case, I'm gonna use a different yarn, which is gonna be crazy, but whatever. Alright, like we did with the purple, just yarn over with both the green and the white. And again, I'm gonna go down once and go back, and then that's it, because we're already at 3 1/4. Okay. Oh, I have to cast off too. Boo. Alright, so we're actually going to do one more pass after this. I definitely think I'm not going to have enough. I think I'm just going to... I might just continue with a different yarn altogether. It's not that big of a deal. For me. For you, you know, you might want to start a different green for the next square if you don't have enough green. Alright, so now I want to show you guys how to cast off. We have our 3 1/4. This you can just cut later if you really wanted to. Now, we're going to knit the first 2 stitches here. So, 1, 1, and 2. Alright, we have our 2 stitches here. What I'm going to do is take this stitch and pull it over this stitch. So, put your needle through that stitch here. We're going to hop over the next one, and then we're going to slide down the right needle over the point, and then back down, and now we have that 1 loop left. Then we're going to do a knit. Alright? And we're back to 2 needles on the right, 2 stitches on the right needle. We're going to grab this stitch and pull it over this stitch. So put your needle through that stitch. We're going to pull it over the next one, down the right needle, over the point, and back down. Like that. Again, you guys, so let's knit this next stitch. You now have 2 stitches on your right needle. You're going to stick your needle through this stitch, and we're going to pull it over the next one and slide down the right needle over the point and back down. Okay, so just keep on doing this until you've gotten rid of all the stitches off your left needle. Okay, so just keep on doing this with me. And then I'm going to show you how to cast off. Okay. Alright. And this is going to keep your project from unraveling. Unlike crochet, you have as many stitches on your needle for your project to unravel. In crochet, you have 1 loop. So, if you accidentally drop one and don't realize, that whole row down is going to unravel. And here we have 22, so you want to make sure that every stitch on this 22 run gets this little leapfrog situation. Okay, since we're here now, we're going to cast off, and it's a short run, small amount of yarn. Let's just cut it. Alright, does it say to leave any? Okay, so it doesn't really say how much tail you need to leave at the end, so we're just going to do about 1 inch here or more. Then we're going to do the same thing that we did, but just yarn over this piece here. You can hold it with your middle and index. So the part we just cut off from the feeder yarn, yarn it over your needle. We're going to pull this loop over that yarn over. But then you're going to pull it all the way out with that needle. And then we're going to tighten this up, and then you're done. We have our, this might be a little bit more than that. Let me see. Nope. It's like just about 3¼ inch, because this is very loose, but then we can do the next rectangle. Again, I'm not sure we're going to have enough. I think I'm just going to attach some different, very different cotton yarn that I have. I think these are like acrylic or polyester. It's gonna look mad different, but what can you do? I think that only happened to me with the watermelon, where I ran out of, maybe it was the green. No love for the greens. I love green. Alright, so let me just detangle this, and then I want to show you how to cast, no, I already showed you how to cast on. Okay. Well, how about this? For the green, I'm going to cast on with my fingers. I want to show you that it's a little different. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I'm going to show you how weird it looks. Alright, so make a slip knot with a 12-inch tail and cast on 10 stitches. So take a ruler, measure out 12, okay, do your little loop-de-loop that I taught you guys. Okay. Alright, and I'm gonna, this square I'm gonna do the finger one, the white square I'm gonna do the needles, because I really want to show you something if you freak out and ask why it's different. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, let's just double check. 4, 5, 10. Okay, and I actually did these little tight, so that should be fun. That was all sarcasm. Alright. So, for some reason, when you do it that way, when you begin to knit, it becomes much looser, which is a little scary, but I just ignore it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. And this is what happens when it's too tight. Alright. So we're gonna do our first stitch, right? When I do this, there's a huge gap. So if you see that, don't freak out. I just ignore it. But for some reason, when you do it that way, you get these huge gaps. Look at that. And it's probably the size of the needle is why you get that. And it is just gonna grow, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. Okay. If it's too tight, you can use that extra to make your loop bigger. after I get through this row, I'm going to continue in silence until hopefully I get to finish the rectangle with this yarn. If not, like I said, I'm just gonna attach some different yarn to it. Maybe I'll use purple. Yeah, screw it. Because it's gonna be the bottom of the... It's gonna be the bottom. And if it's a boba drink, it's mixed. So, alright, continuing this in silence. Okay, so I just used the purple. I have a different color green, but it's in cotton, so it's going to be a lot thicker and heavier on one side. So I figured it's the same type of yarn. Like I said, this might be acrylic or polyester. So I'm just going to stick with this, and it's being sewn to the bottom anyway, so hopefully it really won't matter. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the white. And I'll be doing this in silence as well. So this time we're gonna need a 20-inch tail. Okay, I think I did 15. I feel like I did way more than that. Oh my gosh. 5, 10, 15. Alright, I'm good. Okay. Again, we're gonna do this thing. And then I'm gonna do the needle version with the green square we did by hand. Now I'm gonna do it by needle, and we're doing 14 inches, 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, oops, 11, 12, oh, 13, and 14. Okay, got tripped up a little bit there, splitting the yarn, but anyway, let's make sure that we have 14 on here. 5, 10, 14. So when we do the next round, unlike when we did it by hand, when we do one stitch, that split is different. So yeah, it's definitely the way you twist it. I'm not sure which way you're supposed to twist it when you do it by hand, but that's something I've always kind of dealt with. So it's not like the end of the world if it looks different. But yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna finish up these last bit of stitches, and then I'm gonna continue the rest in silence. Alright, I don't know if this was recording. I have a feeling that it wasn't. I was so worried about the green. I'm actually running out of white. So comment below, let me know if you're in that same position. Now, I do have a couple of whites on hand, but they're so different. So I've got the lightest one that I got is this one here, and I'm just going to tie it to this one. So I would try using this, but this is supposed to be for the lid. This is a little crazy. I'm kind of disappointed that I ran out of yarn, because I think it didn't matter what I did with the base, the first rectangle that I made, and how many rounds of whatever I made. There was no way I was gonna have enough at the end of the day for the green and the white, because you know, it makes sense with the green because there's only a little of it and I didn't know how many rows, but this is half of what we need. So I just double knotted this. You can triple knot if you don't trust it. But comment below, let me know if you ran out of yarn and what you did. I just tied another one. It's gonna be so different from when you see this. This is nice and plush and thick, and the other half is gonna be not. I don't know. It is what it is. And you know what's crazy? So we can do some amigurumi. And if you don't know what that is, it's a crochet of little cute characters. And they always start out with a little circle. If this was supposed to be like a lid, you can, and you know, it was a fancy kit, you can totally combo knitting with crocheting, but this is just knitting. So unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to switch, and I think it's more of a cream color too, so you're definitely gonna see a difference, but I want to get this done, and I think I'm just gonna sew it together, because it looks like after this rectangle, you're just sewing things together and putting on the face and such, so it just seems kind of silly to do a short video when I can just tack it on to a long one, and just, you know, it is what it is. Alright, let me complete this in silence. Alright, so I don't know if you can tell through this video, but from here up is my yarn, and from here down is their yarn. I ran out. It kind of looks alright, but definitely different. Alright, let's move on, shall we? Okay, so with the needle, we are going to be sewing this together. Okay. And we want to make sure that the right side, or the cleaner side, is on the inside, because we're going to be flipping this inside out later. So you can tell which side is the nice side by the stripes. So here we have a clear division of stripes. All the stitches are nice and neat, except I messed this one up here somehow. But anyway, flipping it over, you can see where we added the colors. There's extra stripes in here. Although this is a very cool look, it's not the look that they want. So when we sew these pieces together, it's going to become a tube, and we're going to put the wrong side facing out, because we'll be flipping this inside out later on. So let's thread up our needle. Whoa. Alright. And then we're just going to be doing stitches. Now you want to start on the purple side, because we are going to be then sewing, well, you don't have to, well, this is where it's at. But anyway, just to let you know, the green side is going to become the bottom. So this is opportunity to maybe hide these things. To do that, you just make sure you capture it in your needle. So when we flip it inside out, it gets stuck in the stitch and it doesn't show out. At least that's the hope, that it doesn't. Okay, so I'm just gonna start sewing this side together. And when I'm done, I'm going to leave the tails. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to come back in with the yarn and sew something else, you know, or if you want to double it up, or... Now, obviously this won't be perfect because you are sewing a different color when you hit the other stripes. But it'll be alright. See, so I'm grouping all these strands around the stitch so that I can tuck it into the stitch and pull it away from the other side, hopefully. And this also gives you opportunity to hide any of the frays. I'm just going to pull these out so they're not facing the right side. Alright, and then like I said, I'm going to make a fasten off loop here. But I'm going to leave the yarn attached in case I need it later. Okay, so pull it. I'll leave this. Alright, so we have our tube. Now we have to use this one next to sew. Alright, and I'm going to use the mint. Alright. Okay. So since we're flipping this inside out, the corners will be hidden behind. So, but what we want to do is sew around the circle. So let me just go here actually. Let's make it nice and even. So this might be a little difficult at first, but just try to make your way around the circle. I feel like you should need like a cardboard circle so that you can maintain the circle and make sure that you finish it off flat. Because not using one, you're just kind of randomly sticking your needle out and about here. And I just don't think that you're going to be able to make a perfect circle. So I find that rather odd. But as we do these kits, we're going to find out where their weaknesses is in their instructions or their design. This is definitely not great at all. They should have had, like, at least even tell you, cut a piece of cardboard and into a circle, stick it at the bottom so that it helps you kind of navigate your circle, because you know what I mean? This is going to end up looking very oblong without it. Okay, so I think I've gotten all around. For this last stitch, I'm gonna tie a knot. Okay, move that. So I don't know, just looking deep into this thing. Oh geez, there's a piece that I need to get rid of. It's kind of a circle. Okay. Okay, now it's saying flip the tube inside out. Now the corners of the squares are inside, and the nice solid strips are on the outside. So let's flip this inside out. Now we're going to tuck everything in here, contribute to the stuffing. Okay. And you see how it's like kind of not flat? If you cut a little cardboard piece here, you can essentially make this really flat. But they don't have that here. I mean, none of them do. But if you have a piece of cardboard, I would try doing that. Alright. Now, we're going to take the white rectangle and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to sew the two sides. Alright. So set this aside. Got this one right here. We're going to thread it up. Fold it in half. Okay. So they want you to make sure that the prettier side is on the outside. So here I would just, obviously recommend looking at it and then seeing which side you want to go in. And if you have these little frays, put them on the wrong side. So folding it in half, I'm going to sew just these two sides. Okay. From here, you can loop it to make a knot. I'm going to go back in here, pull it through the inside, and then, ooh, there happens to be a piece here. I'm just going to tie it. You don't have to tie it, but I'm just going to tie it. But if you have opportunities like that, you might as well take advantage of it. But I was just going to cut the piece so that it stays inside there. And then I was going to start on this side and sew that up. Okay, this time we're starting on this end. We're going to tie our knot. Double knot it. Tuck in the excess piece. And then we're gonna continue sewing. Oops, hit the camera. Okay, now that we're at this point, we can take our stuffing and we're gonna stuff both the cup and the lid. Wow, and this does not look like enough stuffing. This is gonna be one extra squishy. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Okay. I'm not gonna add, I'm just gonna use it as is because that's what I've pretty much done for these kits. So we're gonna sew this top to the cup and we're just gonna sew it on the second row here to make a lip of the lid. So, and then we can shape it. I don't really. Alright. So now I'm going to attempt to sew this top on. And I'm going to pick this spot here. It's a little rinky-dink, so I'm going to try to make it more secure. Okay. And again, we're going to sew down from the second row so we make a little lip around. So I'm gonna go poke into that second row and we're gonna try doing stitch for stitch. I don't know if it's the same count. It's not, right? All right. I don't like how I'm doing this actually. Let me see, because it's not making a lip that way. Let's do this. All right, I'm gonna rethread this. I'm gonna come up under. And then go back down in. So we're coming up from under the lid, in case you're wondering. And I don't think it's stitch for stitch. I could be wrong, but so just keep an eye out with how many stitches you are sewing into to make sure that it lines up okay and it doesn't start bunching on one end. Oops. Alright, comment below. Let me know how you're doing with this. It seems easy, but I feel like it's not really. And my lid is not as domey like. It's very square. And I definitely feel like I could have used more stuffing if I had it. Okay, so I got to the other side. I'm just gonna find a moment here to tie my knot. So I'm just gonna go around a couple of stitches here. And this definitely doesn't look how I thought it would look. This is a little... Oh, well, what can you do? Alright, I'm going to tuck in this end piece here by trying to drag that inside. Okay. So this is supposed to form a lip. It kind of did, but it's so bright you can't really tell, and the dome is not really doming at the moment. I guess I can kind of trick it to look like a dome. But I think it would have helped if we just had more stuffing. Alright, so then from this point, we're going to stick on the eyes and mouth sticker. So grab... Alright, I'm going to pick a good side. This is a good side. I'm going to grab my little felt stickers and we're going to stick them on here. Okay. And again, you can reinforce them by sewing on embroidery floss right around the rim. You want to separate the threads. I think one strand would be great so that it's barely noticeable. I'm just going to leave this as is. Stick the other eye. Just squeeze it down and count for a few seconds. And finally, let's put on the mouth. Same thing, hold it down. Then we get to stick on the Boba stickers. It's up to your preference if you want to put it all the way around, if you intend on just having this chill and such. Or stick it on one side. I'm going to just stick it all around. But it looks like they put all of them in the front. in the photo they've got there. So again, just do the same thing. Just hold it down for a few seconds. Make sure that all those possible threads can stick to that sticker and stay on there. And these things, I mean, I honestly wouldn't recommend giving like a little child. It does say 8 years and older. We're going to be putting pipe cleaners next. You know, there's just a lot of stuff here that's not, you know, that could become a choking hazard. So comment below, let me know if you even like boba, if you even know what boba is. I know what it is, I just don't prefer tapioca, so I have not had boba, as shocking as that is, but I'm cool with that. It's okay. Here's our little boba drink. Alright, now we're gonna take the pipe cleaners and we're gonna twist them together. And it seems like our pink is bigger than the white, so let's see, we're gonna twist this. And we're basically making a twisty color straw. Okay. And then they just want you to stick this on the top of the lid, so there's no rhyme or reason, there's no like glue. So this is definitely just for show, I feel. Alright. So I'm gonna take, seems to be bulbous on this side, so just to even it out, I think I'm gonna just stick it in this side. So try to find a nice moment where there's a hole. Try not to pierce into the yarn, because then that makes things a little difficult to even push in. But I feel like I'm hitting stuffing now, so you can kind of twist it a little bit and move it around to make sure that straw gets in there, but it'll come out. There's no glue or anything. But anyway, this is my boba. Boba buddy. I was like, what's the name of this? So this is my boba buddy. You can't even tell. I mean, you know what? If this is a mix, you know, you really, that's what it's supposed to look like. So just pretend this is some sort of flavor swooshed at the bottom there. The boba balls, they have them all in the front, which is why it looks like a lot. I put these around it and I don't know what it looks like, to be honest, but boba buddy. Comment below, let me know how it went. Let me know if you're wanting to do this. Comment below if you've actually had boba. At any rate, click on the notification bell for future videos. I still have some other stuff lying ahead. This is again my last snack knit kit. It might be a hot minute before I go into a 5 Below and see if there's any more. I got these online and these were the only ones available, so if there's any 5 Below or snack knit kits that you need me to try, you can comment below or email me. If you don't want to wait on me finding it, you can always just send me the instructions and I can try to help you out. Alright, you guys, so thank you so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.